you. Okay, so good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to officially welcome you to this special meeting in our school. The Erasmus Plus logo is on the screen because this is a meeting, virtual meeting, which is, well, financed entirely by the Erasmus Plus program, which I'm sure everybody knows is the European program for education, which enables students from the European countries to meet each other, to learn about each other's heritage, culture, traditions, and in general to meet, to make contact, and later on hopefully keep this contact between themselves. So a very warm welcome to everybody. Okay, I'd like to perhaps switch this off for a second. This is, in fact, I will have to say that this LTT was not, this is in fact a virtual LTT, but it was supposed to happen last year in Poland in May 2020. But naturally, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it was postponed, and now we decided to convert it into a virtual LTT online. So on behalf of everyone here at Szkoła Podstawowa number 14 z oddziałami dwujęzycznymi imieniem Armii Krajowej w Tychach, which translates into English as the Home Army Primary School number 14 with bilingual units in Tychy, I would like to welcome you to this virtual LTT. The LTT, which is not what we wanted it to be, but we have to make the best of it. And I think we did during the whole 5 days, starting on the February the 9th and ending today. It is day 5 of the virtual LTT and the last day of our online activities. Now, we have invited guests whom I would like to thank very much for attending. I'm not exactly sure if I can see that everyone whom we've invited is here because there are too many people on the list here, participants list, and I cannot talk to you and read this list. I cannot do multitaskings. But first of all, and we have to start with some introductions. And first of all, I would like to introduce the person without whom this project would not see the light of day, I can say this. Someone who inspired a small, dedicated group of teachers in our school to start working on the Erasmus application form back in actually 2017, which later on was very fruitful in 2018. And it has to be said that without her help, support, commitment, this project would not exist. So with great pleasure, I would like to introduce the director, the head of our school, Mrs. Małgorzata Hełchowska. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are very happy that you were able to join us today. Next, I would like to introduce, but I am not sure whether she is with us already, the head of our town education board in Tychy, which is a supervising body in Polish called Miejskie Centrum Oświaty. I don't know if Mrs. Dorota Gnacik is with us. Mrs. Gnacik, are you with us? Maybe not. Maybe she is busy elsewhere. Yes, maybe she is busy elsewhere. So, but I would like to mention that we have great cooperation with our supervising body. So, thank you very much for that great cooperation. Next, I would like to introduce from our neighboring town of Pszczyna, Mrs. Monika Margiecok, the Vice Director of High School number 1 in Pszczyna. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for inviting me again.
Thank you. I believe that we also have from our town, from the second high school, Mrs. Eva Kubas from the second high school in Tychy. Are you with us, Mrs. Kubas? Maybe not. I think I saw her in the list of participants, but maybe I was wrong. So anyway, thank you very much. Maybe she will attend us later, attend our meeting later. And I think we should have Mrs. Ilona Studzińska from the primary school number 13 with us. Mrs. Studzińska, are you with us? Maybe not, okay. But I have to mention that primary school number 13 is our direct competition in town, but a very friendly one. Okay, now, I think that it is high time. I don't know if there are any other guests from Poland whom I've missed. If so, then can you please, can you please say hello to us? Okay, if not, then we will introduce the partners. And I would like to warmly welcome all of my partners, my fellow coordinators in this project. There's a good way of in this project, because if we start from the north, and if we start in alphabetical order, it is always the same. So Lithuania. From Lithuania, we have Mrs. Rita Umbrasiene. Can you please say hello?
Yes, hi everyone. It's very nice to participate and to have such wonderful partners from different countries.
It is. Are there any guests and teachers with you whom you would like to introduce?
Yes, my deputy Edita, I see her. So Edita, say hello.
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 So we are traveling together always. So thank you for participating and joining all the time.
Good to see you again. Thank you very much. Now from Romania, Ms. Camilia Kirciu. Camilia,
Hello.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm here with three of my colleagues. It's Melania Kalcinovski. Melania, you can say hello. She's a Romanian teacher. And Viorica Boldișor, she's a biology teacher, and geography teacher is Dana Deaconu.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
I have to say that they helped me a lot for this LTT. They were involved.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much, Dan. And now from Turkey, Ms. Zuhal Servginesh.
Hello, thank you, Mike. It's a great pleasure for us to have such a good LTT with our students and colleagues. And today we have our ICT teacher, Ms. Şule Baran Bingöl.
Hello.
Hello, Şule. And our philosophy teacher, I can't see in the participants, Miss Nurgül Peker. Nurgül?
Second page.
The second page.
Yeah.
Nurgül, are you with us? Ah, yes.
Yes, she's here.
Yes, okay. And I saw my deputy manager and our maths teacher, Mr. Salim Yıldız and Özdemir Şahin with us, but they were on duty on a driving license examination today, so they have to leave early. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and a great welcome once again for everyone. I would also like to welcome from my colleagues from my school. We have Mrs. Dorota Bączkowska. Dorota. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
I don't know whether anyone else from our school has joined us today. I know that Adrian Zieliński was supposed to be here because he is the one who was in fact helping me with Zoom as such. And as you notice, we don't actually have this time limit on Zoom because we have this wonderful administrator for Zoom who arranged it for us. I don't know, maybe Adrian didn't manage to join us. I don't see anyone else from the Polish teachers on the list here. So let's move on to the next point, and last, but perhaps the most important, I would like to welcome the students. All of our school students. Without the participation of the students from all the partner schools, this project would not be possible. So a very warm welcome to all of you who joined us today and on the previous days of this somewhat strange online LTT. Once again, welcome everyone. And especially since I know that some of the students who are present here are in fact already graduates from our schools, not just from Polish school, but from the partner schools as well. So a special welcome to the graduates. Right, so I think we can declare the project officially, day's activities officially open. And I know that our head teacher, Mrs. Małgorzata Hełchowska, would like to say a few words because this is an LTT which was supposed to take place in Poland. I believe that Ms. Hełchowska will in fact deliver the speech in Polish so that you can hear the speech in Polish, but I will help and translate into English for those of you who are not that fluent in Polish. I know that Rita understands a lot, but maybe for the rest of you, I will help and translate. So, Ms. Małgorzata Hełchowska, can you please deliver your speech?
Witam bardzo serdecznie na niestety ostatnim już spotkaniu w ramach projektu.
So welcome to the last project meeting.
Nie tak miało wyglądać to spotkanie. Mieliśmy gościć Was w naszej pięknej szkole, pokazać Wam, jak pracujemy, jak działamy.
This is not what the meeting was supposed to look like. We wanted to welcome you in our wonderful school, show you how we work, how we operate.
Zaplanowaliśmy liczne wycieczki, które przybliżyłyby Wam najbliższą okolicę.
We had planned many trips to show you the local area, the neighboring area.
Niestety wszystko to zmieniła pandemia COVID, dlatego dziś możemy spotkać się tylko wirtualnie.
Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic changed all that, and we can only meet today online.
Mam nadzieję jednak, że wcześniejsze mobilności pozostawią wiele wspomnień i wrażeń.
However, I hope that the previous mobilities will leave you with many memories and impressions.
Niewątpliwie jednak dzięki projektowi udało nam się wszystkim inaczej spojrzeć na nasze wspólne europejskie korzenie. Uświadomić sobie, że mimo wielu różnic jesteśmy bardzo podobni.
That was a very long sentence, but I will try my best. Without a doubt, thanks to this project, we all managed to look at our common European roots in a very different way and to get to know that the many differences that are between us, in spite of them, we are still very similar.
Dziękuję bardzo wszystkim uczestnikom za aktywność, a koordynatorom projektu za zaangażowanie i twórcze realizowanie zamierzeń.
I would like to thank all the participants for their work and the project coordinators for their commitment and creative implementation.
Liczę na to, że będziemy kontynuowali różne działania także po oficjalnym zakończeniu projektu.
I hope that we will continue various activities also after the official end of the project.
Bardzo serdecznie dziękuję i zapraszam do Polski, do Tychów. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much. The last sentence was just this kind of official saying that we are going to welcome you in Tychy if you ever are here. Then you will always be welcomed in Poland and in Tychy. All right, so thank you very much for that speech. Now, because we have many guests who have not been with us previously, for all the guests who've only joined us today, I will very briefly, I promise not to make it too long, introduce the project. And then we have a short slideshow of our past LTTs that we managed to carry out before the pandemic. Hopefully we will be able to I will, sorry, I will be able to present this. It's just a short slideshow, only about 5 minutes, so do not worry. Now, I will try to share my screen with you again. And I think that should be it. Right, so again, as you can see, we have the Erasmus Plus logo here. The important thing here is that we've got, this is a project which is funded by the European Union by the program Erasmus Plus. The title of our project is Let's Explore Our Roots to Shape Our Common Future. This is, as you can see here, the virtual LTT, which we are doing online between the 9th and the 13th of February. And the countries which are involved are Lithuania, Poland, Romania, and Turkey. The whole project is part of the Erasmus Plus project. It is the KA229 project of strategic partnership between schools. Where do our partners come from? I've already mentioned from the top, Lithuania, Poland, Romania, and Turkey. And these are the names of our participating schools, again listed here in alphabetical order, this time in alphabetical order of the names of schools. The aims of our project will be, in fact, as the title suggests here, in exploring the roots of our culture, the common cultural heritage that we share. So the aims of our project were to get better acquainted with the European cultural heritage, to learn about our history, to learn about our tradition, to expand our understanding of other cultures, which was especially very well realized when we went on the LTTs in the project, because then we had this hands-on experience of what the other culture actually is. And what was really very nice in this project was that the students were actually living with host families in hosting countries. So they really had this great opportunity to get to know the local culture and the local people, the local traditions. So this, in fact, is connected with the next 2 points, expanding our understanding of other cultures and to nurture tolerance, which is also very, very important. And I think one of the greatest things that we've discovered here is that we are really all the same all over Europe and all over the world, we could say. We are really, in essence, same kind of people. And I think that this is something that we learn from the travels that we had in the project. There were also 2 other things which I will add here now. These are sort of byproducts of the project to some extent. That is to broaden IT competence, information technology competence, and the use of computer technologies. Of course, nowadays, when we are all teaching online, this has completely new, I don't know what to call it really, perspective at this moment. Because we learn so much about new technologies, even this LTT, virtual LTT, proves that. And last but not least, it was also to help to improve the participants' knowledge of English. And that is not just the students, but also the teachers, because when we communicate in the foreign language, we obviously learn to be more confident in it, and we are able to, well, basically get better results in communication. As I've mentioned earlier, this LTT was supposed to happen in Poland, and this little green area here at the bottom of Poland, in the south of Poland, this is the region of Silesia. This is in fact called voivodeship, because Poland is divided, as you can see, into voivodeships, which is just an administration area. And this little blue dot here is more or less where Tychy is. I'm not very good with geography, but I think this is more or less where Tychy should be. This little blue dot, this is where we would be hosting you for this LTT, had it managed to actually come true. So this is very brief story of our project. Like I said, I didn't want to bore you with it, but I think it needs to be said what this project is about. I've stopped sharing my screen, and as I promised, we are now going to see a film, well, not a film, a slideshow of the previous LTTs which we had. Our first LTT was in Turkey, second one was in Lithuania, and the third one was in Romania. The fourth one, the one that was supposed to sum up and close the project, was supposed to happen in Poland. Alas, it didn't. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will enjoy watching our little slideshow. I will be sharing my screen with you again. I think
Mike,
that
for
brings,
this wonderful video.
I think this brings a few memories back, right?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Mike. It was nice to remember all those good memories. We had really good time and enjoy our LTTs before now, till now, and also this virtual LTT. Thank you for this slideshow.
Okay, now because this LTT was supposed to take part in Poland, what we've decided to do as the kind of last segment of this presentation today, of this day, we will try to, since this is actually a virtual LTT, we will try to virtually transport you to Poland. This is not going to be easy, but we will do our best on this one. So I will, in fact, now show you a short film, another short film, which is entitled, I mean, this is just the working title, really. It's entitled All the Ways Lead to Our School. This is a film which has been made by one of our former students, our graduate. I will share my screen again, and you will see that indeed all the roads in Poland, or at least in Tychy, lead to our school. I think you should be able to see my screen now. Right, that should be it. That's in fact the building of our school. So this was a film which was in fact used at our school for the last day of the school year last year as a kind of, well, I don't know what to call it, as a goodbye and invitation for the future, for the second year of the well, for the next year, for the following year of education. I just got a message that we had the head teacher of the second high school in Tychy was with us. I'm not sure if I can find her now at this moment, but pani dyrektor Kloc, nie wiem, czy jest jeszcze z nami, czy nie. But I would like to welcome her very much to the meeting. Like I said, I cannot notice everyone who is entering and leaving the meeting. Sometimes people get kicked out for various reasons on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that this was an invitation to our school, a film that showed you how to get to our school. Now, you may be wondering what sort of wonderful stuff you'd be doing here had this LTT indeed had we managed to realize this LTT. And I will show you what we had planned for you, but I need to get my presentation going. So if you give me just 1 second, and I think I will be able to share it with you. Maybe not. Right. So, Silesian places worth visiting. This is what we had planned for this LTT, and had it actually been realized, you would have seen all those places in person. It would have been great. It would have been a wonderful LTT, but what can I say? The first place that we would go to, place that we are very proud of, would be in our neighboring town, Pszczyna. And we would like to show you the model pen for the European bison. The European bison, which is also referred to sometimes as the Polish bison. This is this large animal that you can see in the picture here. This is in Polish called żubr. And if you want to, you can see the spelling here. This is the spelling of żubr. This is a large animal which was almost extinct up until a few years ago. But thanks to the facility in Pszczyna and I think one other in Białowieża, this animal has been restored to wilderness. And in fact, we also, I understand, exported some of them to places as far as Holland, because they used to roam all over Europe and not just in Poland. And we managed to do something right for nature for once and restore this animal to nature. While in Pszczyna, we would of course also see the beautiful castle, which is quite close to the bison farm. And this is perhaps one of the most beautiful palaces that we have in Poland, sometimes referred to as a castle, but it is not a fortified building. It's really a residence with a beautiful park around it. I'm not sure if it is at this moment open or not because of the pandemic, but inside it's actually a very beautiful museum, a wonderful palace, and the park is also wonderful. I think there are at least 3 ponds in the park where you can also take a boat ride. Then we would take you underground in Tarnowskie Góry. Silesia is not just about coal, but in Tarnowskie Góry we had this mine which extracted silver and lead. It was primarily silver, but also lead. It's a museum, and there's a wonderful adventure. It's a wonderful adventure underground, which during which you also take a boat ride, and it's really has a very special atmosphere there. And on top of it, there is a museum of steam engines. So above ground, the Museum of Steam Engines, which is an open air museum. Below ground, a beautiful silver mine. In neighboring, well, maybe not neighboring town, but quite close, we would take you also to Zabrze, which offers a completely different experience. This is an experience of a coal mine. There's a beautiful coal mine there called Guido, and it offers educational tours. We wanted to take you on an educational tour where you would actually be able to work as a miner in a coal mine and extract coal. So that's a wonderful experience as well. We normally have this as a school trip in our school. Speaking of the miners, we would then take you to a place which is very unique in Polish or Silesian architecture. That is the district of Nikiszowiec near Katowice, which was built about 100 years ago, and it was built with one purpose in mind: to provide the miners, the workers who worked to extract the coal, with a place of living. In Polish, or rather Silesian, I should say, this was called familok, which means a block of flats where families live. This is a very unique district, and very well preserved, and it's really has a very special atmosphere. When you enter this, there's of course also I think at least 2 different museums there that you can see how the people 100 years ago lived. This is a kind of an area which has not really undergone many changes. We live in a very industrial part of Poland, perhaps the most industrial part of Poland, in Silesia, but it's not just about heavy industry and mines. We also have a beautiful Park Śląski, which is Silesian Park, which is located in nearby Chorzów, and it's the area of over 6 square kilometers, one of the biggest city parks in Europe, it is said. It is also referred to as the lungs of Silesia, because there's a lot of green, as you can see in the photograph here, in this park. There are beautiful streams, meadows, and paths there. And of course, it's also home to the zoological garden. It's also where we have the Silesian Stadium, which is said to be the luckiest football stadium for Polish teams. Now, then we would take you somewhere closer to Tychy, which is Mikołów, and there's another green place there, the botanical gardens. Perhaps not at this moment, but the LTTA was supposed to happen in May, so it would have been as beautiful as it is in the picture that you can see here. It is actually the largest botanical garden in Poland, but it's not just the botanical garden that we will take you to. There is a nearby palm house, which is in fact quite an old one, dating back to the 19th century, and has over 5,000 different plants from all over the world. Very interesting place to see as well. Then we would take you to Mysłowice, where in Mysłowice, it's a very historic place of cultural heritage for us as well, because when Poland was disappeared from the map during the partitions of Poland, this was the place where the 3 emperors or 3 empires met. And as you can see here, there's a kind of a monument that lists that. So the borders of 3 empires were supposed to meet at this place where there was no Poland at all at that time. There is also the Fireman Museum there in Mysłowice, which is fun to see. But then we would take you to Radzionków. I think we did something very similar in Lithuania. We also baked bread in Lithuania, and we would want to do the same thing, maybe compare the way in which we bake bread in Poland and the way in bread was baked. We baked bread in Lithuania because our students actually had hands-on experience. Well, I have to say that our students had hands-on experience in all the partner countries. We did lots of interesting stuff during the LTTs, as you saw in the short slideshow. Then, from the baking tradition, we would take you to a place of religious tradition. We would take you to Częstochowa, where we have perhaps the most important religious place in Poland, namely it is the Jasna Góra Basilica na Jasnej Górze, which is a basilica and monastery. And this is where, as you can see on the screen, we have the most important religious painting in Poland, the painting of the Black Madonna, which enjoys a kind of cult in Poland, a religious cult in Poland. It's possibly the most important place of religious cult in Poland, and the most religious and the most important religious object that we have in our country. Oh, well, maybe if the weather was nice and if we had time, we would take you also on a wonderful ride on the Silesian narrow gauge railway. Narrow gauge railway meaning that the rails are narrow, not the full-size rails, but they are much narrower than traditionally. It's a nice ride, bumpy ride, but it is very nice. And we would also like to show you the Szlak Orlich Gniazd, which is perhaps best referred to in English as the eagle's nests, because these are castles which were mostly built in high places. This one actually isn't, but I don't know why the student put a picture of that one here. But most of them were in very high places and difficult to win. Then, on our way to the final destination of our LTT, we would stop at the only desert in Poland, which is Pustynia Błędowska, which you can see part of it in the picture. It's bordering a wood, so it's not a classical, it's not like the Sahara Desert. Nevertheless, it is the biggest desert in Europe. This is the largest desert that there is in Europe, so it's quite an interesting place to visit. You can also see it from a kind of vantage point of a nearby hill, where you can drive up there and you can see the whole of this desert. And it was in the past used, or maybe I should say abused, by military troops who were training there and preparing for war, whatever. And now it's a place of cultural heritage where we try to preserve the unique ecosystem that was actually there. Now, last but not least, we would take you again underground to one of the pearls of Poland, which is a salt mine in Wieliczka. This is possibly the most beautiful salt mine underground creation by human beings in the world. Some people say that it's a new wonder of the world. The mine has been, the salt mine has been, in fact, created over many years. Miners made it into beautiful chambers underground. Most of course, most of it is made of salt with some reinforcements, obviously. But as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful, and the chambers which they carved underground are absolutely beautiful. There's, of course, also a very special ecosystem underground, and they say that if you are in the mine for a day, that means like you were over a month at the seaside, which is supposed to be so good for your lungs. Okay, so the chapels and all the sculptures there and all the places are actually made of salt, carved from salt. Right, so these are the places that we would have taken you to. Very nice places, as you saw. it's a pity that we couldn't. It's a pity that we couldn't actually do this in reality. But I hope that this virtual trip at least gave you some kind of, well, I don't know, taste of what it would be like had we actually been here. Perhaps one more thing that I would like to share with you is, again, something from our region. It's a short film which promotes the region of Silesia. You will see some of the places that I've mentioned. You will see some of the places that I've mentioned, and hang on a second. But in a form of a promotional video. Okay, that should be it. All right, I think you can see my screen now. Let's watch the film. Enjoy. That was the promotional film from Silesia region, and it just showed you mostly the places that I've shown you earlier in the presentation, with the exception of Wieliczka, because Wieliczka is in fact not in Silesia, right? It's not in Silesia, it is in the so-called Lesser Poland. It's a different voivodeship, different region of Poland, but it is very, very close to us. It's only about, I think, 1.5 hours by coach, maybe even less, depending on the traffic. Now, last but not least, we will I will show you one other video, and that is the video of our town, our town's promotional video clip. And it's also quite interesting to see that even though we actually live in a very polluted region, our town is very unique here because there's a lot of green places. Obviously, it was taken in the summer, so it's really green. At this moment, it's covered by snow, but I do not actually have any good pictures of that, of the town covered by snow. Okay. This is the Lake Paprocany, which is next to our town. Various estates and lots of green places around. These are the suburbs of Tychy. You will not be able to see our school from this video, but we can see here that Tychy looks quite modern and spacious. That is our aqua park. Okay, shopping center. That is a palace in Tychy, a small one. That's the brewery, which is the greatest and the heaviest industry that we have in town. That is the old church and the old market square. Same thing at night. And this is one of the parks next to St. Caroline's Church, which you can also see on the left, top left corner. And we have plenty of parks and ponds in the town. Which you can see here. Okay. So this is what we are missing, in fact, what you are missing. And it's a great pity because we are very proud of our region. We are very proud of our town. And it's a great pity we couldn't show you all those wonderful places, and we couldn't, in fact, host you here, welcome you, and well, simply enjoy your company in our country, in our town.
Mike,
ladies and gentlemen,
Mike,
what else can I say? Yes,
Mike, we should do another project and visit all those beautiful places. We should. Yes, and by the way, me and Camelia visited Wieliczka. I'm not sure about my pronunciation, by the way. The salt mine.
Wieliczka.
Yeah, Wieliczka, yes. And I have a magnet on my refrigerator, magnet from there. It was nice to see that mine, yeah.
Yeah, it is quite an experience to see that. It's really wonderful. I think that pictures do not do it justice. If you just see photographs of it, you do not really have the impression of how great it is. And by great, I mean how big it is in this respect. How big it is and how wonderfully carved all those things are in the salt mines. So this is something that's really very impressive. Yes, we are very proud of that. As Poles, we are very proud of that. Okay, I think that at this moment there is, we come to this moment when I should hand out the certificates to all the people who've attended, but of course we cannot do this virtually. I mean, I can wave a sheet of paper, but it doesn't work that way. So you will get the certificates later. As soon as we have them ready, we will distribute certificates, but obviously we cannot do this online. Normally this would be a very nice event, handing out the certificates and a photo of all of us together with the certificates, proud moment of receiving the certificate. But like I said, we cannot do this online. So rest assured, you will get the certificates, but they will come later from your coordinators. And I think that all good things must come to an end. Also, this meeting and this project will come to an end. So if anyone would like to say anything else about the project or about the experience with this project or Erasmus program in general, you can speak now. So the floor is yours if you have anything to say.
Yes. Thank
Anything
you, Mark.
else?
Okay, that's a good joke, right?
Okay. I think two of my students want to say a word about how they feel about this LTT and our project in general. Betül?
So I had several concerns before participating in this project, like what if my internet goes off while I'm speaking or stuff like that, because you know it's an online meeting. But thank God my friend said they would continue where I left off and they will back me up. And of course I said I will do the same. So I learned more about teamwork, not only as the Turkish group, but as like everybody who's in this project. I noticed with my own two eyes that working together ends with success, and together we can do so much. I also met more people with this project, and of course, I got a chance to know more about different countries, different cultures. Also, I was so touched to see myself in the first video we watched. It brought a lot of good memories. Erasmus was like such priceless experience for me to meet with such beautiful families and to interact with them. I kept in touch with the families I stayed with, and we still talk. And chat, and sometimes do FaceTime. And it's all thanks to Erasmus, so thank you.
Thank you, Betül. Betül
Thank
went to
you very much.
Lithuania, and another student who went to Romania, to Craiova, Yaren. Are you with us?
I am.
Wants to she wants to share her feelings. Yes, Yaren.
I personally love to explore new and different cultures, traditions, and this project creates cultural interactions. Also, there are many similarities and differences between the cultures, and these differences makes enrich us. I still talk to my Romanian friends. Romanian family, the family I stayed in Romania. And I'm so glad that I was in this project. Thank you for letting me join this project.
Thank you, Yaren. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else would like to add something as last comments?
I'd like to say something. It was my first Erasmus project and I really enjoyed. I've learned a lot about your beautiful countries, daily life, customs, history. The most important, I've met so many very nice and friendly people. And I like to say thank you for all of us. And finally, I'd like to say Ačiū Lithuania, Ačiū Rita, Mulțumesc Romania, Mulțumesc Camelia. And the most difficult for me, Teşekkür.
Cu plăcere, Dorota.
Teşekkür ederim, Turkey. Teşekkür ederim, Zuhal. And good luck for all of you. Good luck for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorota. Thank you.
Bravo, Dorota. I mean,
You're a very kind person. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've had terrible time trying to pronounce Zuhal's surname. Very difficult.
It's the easiest one.
No, it's not. It was very difficult, and I actually had to practice yesterday just to make sure that I'm able to pronounce it in such a way that you will know that I'm talking about you. Okay, but it was really lovely. It was really a lovely experience that we've shared together. And I also enjoyed it a lot. It was quite an eye opener for us as well, because it's different when you go and you just go as a tourist to a different country, to a foreign country. If you go as a tourist, then you only see the tourist attractions. You only see the things that that are obligatory to see, let's put it this way. But when we travel on a project, that means that we actually experience the culture with, it's a hands-on experience. So it's very different then. It is something that we cannot experience on a holiday trip. And I was quite amazed to see your lovely countries and to see them in a very different way. I had never ever been to Lithuania. I had never been to Romania. I've been to Turkey, in fact, quite a number of times in Turkey, but the visit in Manavgat was very different. And it was much more enjoyable than just going on holiday, really, because I learned more about your culture and your wonderful country then. And I also learned something which I didn't realize, that it could be so cold in Turkey. But we were there in February, right? Or March, February, March. And it was cold and rainy. But I never realized this. I always thought that in Turkey, it's always warm. The sun always shines in Turkey. Okay, so anyone else would like to share their thoughts with us?
It was a nice experience. I can't say that it was the first time for me in Turkey or Lithuania or Poland, because I was there before.
I know, in fact, Zuhal, Camelia, and we've met in Poland before this project was actually being written.
Yes.
In Krakow. Mm-hmm.
And also with Rita, I had another project before, so but anyway, second time was great experience to have this project. And by the way, Mike, also we met during European program.
Oh yeah, but that was way before, and that was in Great Britain. In fact, yes, it was
2010.
Let's not mention the dates, okay? Let's not mention the dates. It was not so long ago. Right, but that was, I think that was Tempus program or Comenius, right? It was Comenius. Okay, right. It was the Comenius program when we met in London. That was the first time when we actually met, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay, Michael, as a Turkish coordinator, I would like to thank the Polish head teacher and the Polish colleagues, and Dorota and Michael. Of course, you are such a kind and nice coordinator. We had almost 2 years together, and it was such a nice experience for all of us. What a pity we couldn't visit your town, but hope never dies. I'm very sure that we will meet again in possible future projects again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope so too. Yes, but I have to correct you, Zuhal. You said almost 2 years, almost 3 years.
Yes, if we add the extension, yes.
The extension, and of course we met before that. We met before only online, but we've met, right? So it's more than that. Yes. Actually, nearly 3 years. I know that time flies when you are having fun, but but it's nearly 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, me too. I also would like to say thank you for cooperation, for being together almost 3 years. So it's really very nice experience to know every person that who came to Lithuania, who have visited. I know Dorota. It seems that you are friends now. And of course, it's a pity that the situation changed our plans and the last trip to Poland. but it is like this. So maybe the future plans we will have, and maybe we will cooperate again, and who knows, who knows. But every trip, of course, it gives some experience for us, not only for the teachers, but and for students especially. I think they get so much from traveling, from speaking in English, from practicing in different ways, from getting friends. So that was the most important, to know each other and to know and to get to know our similarities and differences. So that is the most important thing, I think. Exactly as Mike said, that it is very we can have the country, we can know the country in a very different way, not like tourists, but to get deeper from inside, somewhere from inside. So I'm very really thankful for that, for such a possibility, and hope that we will cooperate maybe in the future. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you very much, Rita. I think all of us at this moment feel that it is an inadequate ending to this project, that we're just staying online at this moment, and we cannot really, you cannot visit us here, and we cannot be hosts for you. But what can we say? The pandemic changed everyone's plans, everyone's lives so much. Well, I suppose we should be glad that we can have at least this online meeting. Can you imagine what would have happened if this pandemic hit us? Well, even 10 years ago, it would have been very difficult to stage something like this. 20 years ago, impossible. The internet was only at the very beginning of its existence, really, as a popular tool. There was no proper World Wide Web at that time. So I think, we should be glad that we have this opportunity and make the best of it. And I think this is what we managed to do. Okay, I think we've all said our sad goodbyes. We feel inadequate that we have to finish, but like I've mentioned earlier, all good things must come to an end. So I think that this is when time to say goodbye comes. And I seem to be quoting song titles for some reason. At the end of this meeting, I would like to invite any teachers to a breakout room, any teachers who would like to talk to us. So we will have a breakout room, and we will leave this room open if any of the students want to talk. This meeting is not going to close until the last person leaves, okay? So it is set up in such a way that the last person who leaves this meeting will close the room, will switch off the lights, so to speak. But in the meantime, I will invite the teachers, those of you who wish to talk to us, maybe ask us something about the project. I will stay on, and whoever in that breakout room, whoever would like to talk to me, please do so. Feel free, feel invited. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to officially close the meeting. So once again, thank you to all our partners for your great hospitality, for the great care that you've shown to us when we visited you. And I think that the most common thing which we can say about all those trips that we undertook is that we were always greeted with kindness, which is the thing that we definitely share in all our partner countries, that we were treated with kindness, I might even say with love. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the future projects, and if not in future projects, then perhaps we will just meet each other for fun, who knows. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I will create now a breakout room for
Bye, everyone.
any participants who like to.
Și mulțumesc frumos. Ne auzim.
Teşekkürler from Turkey. Thank you very much.
There is a
Herkes
room called
çıkabilir
teachers
çocuklar.
that you can join. And we can meet there for a moment. If you
Yusuf
like.
çıkabilirsin.
Do
Yusuf,
zobaczenia.
is he still here?
I'm still here.
Yusuf?
Özlem çıkabilirsin. Özlem. There is one more student. Wait. Hüseyin.
Okay,
Hüseyin?
Hüseyin, Özlem çıkabilirsiniz. Özlem. There is still one more student. Özlem. Yeah, I think.
So actually, no one joined the teacher's room. They all disappeared. So there's only us who remains.
Yeah.
Okay, and that student actually left as well. Oops, I forgot to stop the recording, sorry.